Yeah, buddy. What's going on, everybody? You know what time it is. Critical Thinking with Childish Time. Episode 10, and we are going to make this a 3-part series again. Man, gotta love it, all right? Why are we making it a 3-part series? Because last time I tried to talk about various topics, it had to be broken up. It just took too long. So I'm attempting to get these done in 10 minutes. It's going to be a 20-minute video, so get ready. Get ready for it, okay? So as we move on into these critical thinking videos, I move on in my experience, and therefore I can go ahead and comment on various topics that I think are quote-unquote advanced, or at least more endgame material. That being said, some of the material that I provide is only provided from the people that I have spoken with or my personal experience. So keep in mind that even though this information right now may be accurate, this may change due to any updates or anything that comes about from people that have more experience than me. Okay, so we are definitely going to call this, advanced arena tactics. All right, and we're going to talk about various type of advanced arena tactics, but this topic is going to be on countering. Okay, counterattack, countering an opponent, whether it be through um, removing beneficial effects or removing harmful effects. Okay, so let's take a look here. We're going to do this part's just going to be with the wind, and we're going to go ahead and start with all the awakened 2-star units that can do what they can do, and we'll make our way all the way to the 5-star, and then we'll be done. All right. So first off here, I'm going to go ahead and pitch the Wind Fairy. Okay. So as far as all the fairies go with this particular unit, it's definitely not considered one of the greatest units because the recovery amount is based on the attack power versus a certain percentage. So you can't maximize utilizing a unit like this with a hit point based unit, such as Amon or Arnold or some of the other units that have tons and tons of hit points, Ramagos, stuff like that. But obviously, if you get her attack power up, that is good. Either way, we're focusing on the removal of the harmful effects. You heal them and remove any harmful effects on it. So now I'm not sure if this, I haven't actually used the Wind Fairy, but if this is like anything like the Light Fairy, any harmful effect that's on, I will remove it and then and still get the heal off. So even if somebody stunned the unit or put some kind of beneficial removal, blocker like Megan has, I still am able to heal that person and remove that beneficial blocker. Because it's a blocker for beneficial effects, not healing effects. Even though I think healing is beneficial, it still works. So we'll see if they ever change that. Okay, next up we got Mr. Lucan. Lucan, all right. So another regenerate here removes all the harmful effects on itself and recovers HP. Okay, great unit as far as being able to remove harmful effects, but unfortunately this is not a top unit. Why? It's a 2-star unit that has a removal of the harmful effect for himself, not for everybody else. So this is not optimal for arena because you can't rely on just one unit to be able to take care of himself. You need to be able to do all the units here. So even if you get this one and need some kind of unit that can counterattack or whatnot, go ahead and probably skip this one, get rid of it. Unless you're starting out and you got this awakened 2-star and you need to use it. But again, this video is catered to the the people that are in the advanced. So we'll go ahead and move right along. Now, you do have this wind howl here, which is nice because it removes all the harm effects. Removes harm effects on you and a target ally, but unfortunately, it only heals you, not your other allies. So, if your ally gets hurt, you can dispel him, but he still is going to be low on health. Okay, This is why this is probably not going to be the best choice to use, but again, if you're looking for a particular unit that can remove, dispel harmful effects, this is okay, but there's many choices that are better, and I will go ahead and show you those choices as I post future videos. Moving right along, we got the first 3-star, even though it shows 4-star Awaken. This particular one is the Wind Inugami, considerably the weakest one out of the three. Fire being the strongest. However, depending on what you're trying to do, this may be good. Okay, why do I think this is actually a really good unit for arena defense? In addition to having attack speed, and he is a defense-based monster, as you see down in the bottom left below. So he's going to have a lot of defense. Take a note and look that he has an ability to remove all beneficial effects on the target. Not one, not two, but all. So if you run into a Chloe team, a Chloe, a Casus, Megan, this and that, whatever, that put up shield buffs, attack defense buffs, immunity buffs, it don't matter. If there's 6 beneficial effects on there, he's going to remove it, and obviously it's a great spell. So that being said, remember, there's 2 triggers. You got the activation trigger, the trigger on a skill that allows you to activate your skill. If you have a skill like this, it doesn't have any percentage based on it. Like this one's 50%. This one, it says it's just going to remove straight up. So you can consider it's 100%. That being said, you still have a second trigger that is going to be based on your accuracy versus the other person's resistance. So if you have no accuracy and you're trying to remove a beneficial effect on arena that's spec'd for 100% resistance, you might have an issue. Okay. If you have some other information that can prove me wrong, please put it below. But that is what I know, and that is what I understand from my personal experience. Okay, so this is a quality unit, all right? Even though Fire Inugami is better, in certain situations, we're talking about advanced arena tactics, we're talking about arena defense here, or arena offense, depending on what your goal is and what elements you need to go strong against. This can be a very useful unit, so stay tuned for, or not stay tuned, but keep an eye out for this unit. If you get it, don't throw it away if you need a unit that can remove beneficial effects. Alright. Next up, we got Ermeda, however you want to pronounce that. So this one is kind of similar to the previous unit, but this is removing the beneficial effect with the 50% chance. And it has a 30% chance to strike again. So why did I point this one out? Obviously, we're talking about beneficial effects, so this is good. But keep in mind, it has a 30% chance to strike again. And it's tied into its regular attack. So it has a chance to remove for 50% with a 30% chance to strike again. So if you attack him and you fail to remove a beneficial effect, but it has a 30% chance to attack again, and it does, you have an additional opportunity to remove a beneficial effect for 50%. That's why this unit is good. In addition, we got this awesome passive skill, one of the first of many units. Now they got all these units coming out with the reduced damage dealt by the stronger element versus this. Reduced damage dealt by fire attributes by 50%. So, even though fire is strong, fire is gonna always go for that stronger element, and they're gonna, even though they're going for the stronger element, because this guy has his passive, he's gonna take a while to get down. This is why I utilize him a lot as my evolution fodder into More Desert Stage 3, because those is fire wind based zone, and the fire zone or the fire units will all go for this unit before my Inugami gets attacked. Great unit. All right, moving on. Where was he at? Okay, here we go. Next up, Michelle, another considerable one of the not the best Epicon priests, but the only one that can do one of two things. She can revive. Alright, as you can see here, revives an ally with 25% HP and recovers the ally's hit point by 50% each turn for 2 turns. A nice little heal over time. And then she has a pretty cool spell called Block Flow, which recovers the hit points of all the allies but in addition, elongates the time of beneficial effects and shortens the time of harmful effects. Where have we seen this used? We've seen this used in the dungeons for Giants B9, B10 when combining this with a dark elemental, utilizing his invulnerability buff to extend that and make it so that you can, farm giants. But again, we're talking about arena, so this is just going to help improve your beneficial effects and shorten the time. So if you use this in a particular setup, how can this be beneficial to you in the arena offense kind of setting? Set him up as your second person for your attack sequencing. So what do I mean by that? If you got a Megan, okay, if you got a Megan and she's sped up a spec for swift focus, then set her up for the highest speed, but then set it up so that Michelle has the second highest speed so that she can provide a block flow, which is extend the life of Megan's buff, making it for 3 turns versus 2 turns. Okay, and that goes for anything you do. If you have a Chloe and you have this unit, do the same thing with this unit. Extend Chloe's buff so that Chloe's buff is immunity for 3 turns and invulnerability for 2 turns. That would be a game changer if you can extend that. But again, you'd have to set up the speed to be just under Chloe. And that can, with the unit that's, their heals are based on how much damage you can do, that could be hard to do. So this is a very situational unit, but it just depends on what your goals are, what your intentions are, and that's why I pointed it out. So be creative and set them up to the best of your abilities. Okay, moving on, we got Roger here. Not my favorite of units. When this set of units came out, the bounty hunters, I really wasn't happy, but I would be silly not to mention that he has an opportunity to remove 1 beneficial effect with 100% chance here on the activation side. That being said, it is 1 and not all. A lot of people that are in the advanced arena game are utilizing units that provide 1 to 2, mostly 2 beneficial effects. So an attack defense buff, or a shield and a reduced critical rate buff, or an invulnerability immunity buff. So you can't remove both. That's the downside of this guy. All right. And then we got Mrs. Cilia. She obviously is not one of the fan favorites because of Megan getting so much knowledge, but she is kind of a 2-part combo here. So you have a unit that can do a ton of damage if you're attacking an arena defense team that has, they have a speed. They have a speed. A lot of they have a speed-based arena defense team, and they have a lot of beneficial effects. Okay, keep in mind that this attacks the enemies and does extra damage if they have the beneficial effects. However, it does not say anything about being able to inflict damage if the unit is invulnerable. For example, Chloe. So Chloe's beneficial effect makes her invulnerable, and this adds damage for each beneficial attack on target, but the damage will not be able to go through if the unit's invulnerable. So this is kind of the flaw on this one, in my opinion. It doesn't say anything about removing it. If somebody has this at 6-star and wants to prove me wrong that it can still break through an invulnerability, go right ahead, but I'm pretty sure it can. This one here, blocking beneficial effects and disturbing hit point recovery for 2 turns with an 80% chance. Good stuff. But again, it is a single target, not an AoE. So you can definitely utilize it to put it on someone that maybe like you get ahead of a game on Chloe and get this on her before she gets a chance to use a skill. That would be great because she's a healer. So being able to disturb her hit point recovery if she's trying to heal herself while you're taking her down, that can be beneficial. But again, at this stage, everything is situational, so it just kind of depends on what your goals are. All right, moving on. Was this one here? Yes. All right. Just making sure. Sorry, I lost track of all the units that I wrote down. Delphoy, Wind Undyne, removes all harmful effects on allies, and then grants immunity for 2 turns. So, this unit can definitely be utilized versus a speed team. And what I'm thinking about is a Tyron team. All right, that's the Water Sylph. The Water Sylph, people like to use that team and get Tyron's speed extremely high so that it can freeze, right away at first turn. That being said, if your unit's resistance is extremely high, you have a pretty good chance of resisting that freeze. So if you spec this unit to have a good amount of resistance, you can block those AOE stuns and then put this on so that you don't take anything for 2 turns in addition to recovering hit points. So again, you don't see this one utilized a lot. This is not one of the fan favorites, but it has its strengths. It just depends on your goals. There's nothing here. This is just about cooldown and regular attack here. So it's just about the heal there, guys. All right. And we will see this one for all 3 units here. Most people really don't pay attention to this, so that's why I got to point this one out. Sophia, in addition to her water and fire counterpart, have a chance to remove a beneficial effect for 30%. It's not too high, and it's only 1 skill. So again, I wouldn't really rely on this, but it is something to think about if you are looking for a unit that has a beneficial, removal of a beneficial effect, and you have this one, but you didn't know it does that. So there we go. And we got Miss Ling Ling. It's a bad B right there. What up, Ling Ling? What up, Ling Ling? Lingity Ling. I don't know why. I can't get enough of these new Oriental based names. I like that white Rikshasha, the Pang. I think her name is Pang Pang or just Pang. And you got Ling Ling. Love it. Love it. No judgment here. I love all the names. Keep them coming with some Ling Lings. All right. Third attack, excuse me, attacks the enemy 4 times with the power of wind and removes a beneficial effect with a 30% chance. Attacking the enemies 4 times is good, but this is a randomized attack. This is not targeted on one unit, which makes it weak. In addition, it is not a 100% removal rate. It's only a 30% chance. So, you basically have to increase the, power up the skill of this one to get it up there. In addition, have a decent amount of accuracy to make sure that it lands after it triggers. Okay, so good type of skill, but not really great in this kind of situation because it's a randomized attack. All right. And we got the ultimate counter unit. I'm going to go just throw this in here because it is something to mention. I just put out a subscriber showcase so you guys all see this. So even though this is not removing beneficial or harmful effect, this is another type of counter that you're not going to see. This is the one of a kind, so we got to throw this in here. Reducing the max attack speed of all monsters limited to 100%. So if you have 2 teams that are going at it with speed-based monsters, it's not going to mean anything when it comes to this particular guy if he is in the arena battle. So really, really cool skill here. Too bad they don't have more units to have this, but I can see why. This is very, very unique. On a 5-star unit, it should be one to be rare to get. And then we have the lovely Archangel. Okay, just a regular heal and a revive, but if you didn't know, the first attack does have a chance of removing a beneficial effect if you're lucky to get this one. I'm sure that you know that if you have this one, because this is just one of those units that you have to stare at for 50 hours if you get it, because it's just so cool. High chance of removing the beneficial effect, and it's obviously a very, very good unit to use for anything because it has a heal and it has revive. So keep that in mind if you have this unit, if you're looking for something that has a beneficial effect. Alrighty, and I believe I got everybody. I know the Beast Monks don't have anything of that nature, but as far as countering. But I did want to make sure I covered all my bases here. So we'll go ahead and cut the video right there. I believe I got all the wind units I needed to. Yeah, I don't think this was one. Yeah, we're good, we're good. I wrote them all down, so just covering my corners, covering my bases. So that is it, guys, for the 10th episode of the Advanced Arena Tactics, and we're talking about countering here, countering teams. So thanks again for watching, and stay tuned for the next video on water units. All right.